Hey guys, Justin here with JHart Modelworks. Lemon Drop is done, so it is time to unbox a new project. Now, the original plan was that I was going to do a Christmas themed build. It was going to be a vintage roadster and it was going to be kind of cool. At least I thought it was going to be kind of cool. In my head, it was going to be kind of cool. So I went and grabbed said roadster from the stash pile of doom, only to come to the realization that it is the Revell 1929 Model A Roadster. I just finished building the Revell 1929 Model A pickup. I'm not really looking to do that again. So that's going on the back burner. Maybe we'll do the Christmas theme build next year. Instead, however, something came in that I am super excited about. A long time ago, Alpha Models released the hardtop version of this model, and I have been begging them to do the Spider ever since. For at least 2, maybe more years, I have absolutely hounded them, begged them, pleaded with them, promised to buy one, and they have finally released the Ferrari Roma Spider. So when they told me it was up for pre-order, I immediately went and I probably got one of the very first ones on the pre-orders. It has come in. It came in probably last week, maybe the week before. I've been sitting on it for just a tiny bit, and this has jumped the entire stash straight to the bench. So let's go ahead and get the camera flipped around, take a look at what is in the box, and see if it is worth the 2 years that I have been begging for.
Alright guys, so opening this box up, a lovely picture of a Roma Spider. We have our suggestions. Now, normally these will be actually at the bottom, but I go through, you see all the little checks here. As soon as I get an Alpha Models kit, I go through and I inventory all the pieces. In my vast experience of now having 2. I did find I was missing the driver's side headlight lens. Reached out to Alpha. They are sending me one. It is in shipping right now. The body and chassis plate. To 3 bags of cream parts, some more tiny parts and the clear parts, wheels and tires, a bag with some screws, and we get some decals, the glass, etc. Taking a look at our suggestions, I said you get a sheet that inventories all of your parts. There's no color callouts on these Alpha kits. You have to go find out your parts and your colors and kind of do your own thing. That's okay. I typically do anyhow. So when you're looking at these instructions, parts that start with R are resin. Parts that start with PE are photo etch. Sometimes I will give you decal instructions, but not a lot here. See there, you'll get a D. That's a decal number. You have a second page of directions. The dreaded glass. You do get a buck in here for making your photo etch grill. And since that grill needs to be body color, I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and get that knocked out. and then paint the body. And finally, we get a few more decal placements. Oh, that rear splitter looks like that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and start out with the part that all of y'all want to see. That is this beautiful body. So looking at this body, it is beautifully molded. Panel lines are a little shallow, so we are going to need to scribe those again and get those a little deeper. There are no mold seams on the bottom, so that is one less step that you do have to do, but that step is going to get replaced by the fact that you do have to clean this body up. You could see every now and then just a little bit, like right there, looks like a little bit of some kind of contaminant on the body. So it is resin, it is cold cast resin, there is a mold release on here. Before you do any kind of paint work or anything for that matter, you really want to go wash all of these resin parts. I typically use warm water and Dawn dish soap. Sometimes I will follow that up with some isopropyl alcohol. But yes, this body is absolutely beautiful. Look at the detail in here in this. I mean, this is absolutely awesome. One thing Alpha absolutely does really, really well is resin casting. All right, moving on to our interior tub. The rear seats are cast in place. There's a lot of detail in here. There's like a seat base of some sort down in here. That's going to make changing out the seats a little difficult if you want to do that. I kind of like the original Roma seats, so I will probably go ahead and stick with what I've got. It does not look like there's any of those angled slot type issues that we're going to have like we had with the SP2, where we couldn't get the body to slide up in without having the doors already in, but you couldn't get the doors already in because it would interrupt the body, so we had to kind of play a game of wiggling the door cards in and out. We're not going to have that kind of an issue here. And from the looks of it, everything just slides into place really, really well. Now, one thing I have noticed is that there's a bunch of screws in this kit, but the screw holes do not really seem like they line up well. Or they don't look to be very deep. Now, I could go in and re-drill that, but you don't really want to go drilling into resin. There's a very good chance that it will simply crack and then break. And I don't want to run that risk on a kit that costs this much. This was $160 plus shipping from China. The lower panel, they did a really nice job adding some detail. Used to be these just came as a big flat sheet. These look fantastic. Again, all those screw holes do not line up, but there's so much surface area, we should be able to easily just glue that down with no problem at all. All right, moving on to our first bag of goodies. Of our rear diffuser. That looks really nice. Of our door cards. This is the buck for making that photo etch grill. So you're going to set your photo etch in here. These two pieces will go together, and then you will squeeze them until it forms into the correct shape. This is the The car has a spoiler. It's just this tiny little thing. As speed, as it starts getting up in speed, this will pop up and then it'll go back down. And that sits in there. It is a snug fit. It does fit, but it's a little hard to get back out. So I will be sanding it just a little bit to make it easier to get in and out when I'm painting it. But all in all, it is really nice. Like, I've gotten it to go in there once. It fits. It's really, really snug though and hard to get back out. We have our seats. Very nice detail on these. Bag number 2. These look like some kind of seat inserts or something. Maybe door card pieces, but they are loose. A few bits and bobs. Again, all of this is really clean. There's your steering column. Those are the headlight inserts. There's a ton of detail there. Our exhaust tips. This is where those 2 free loose pieces broke off of. We have our brakes, which there's some photo etch that's going to go on these as well. We have the steering wheel. Here we have some more exhaust tips. We have our rear view mirror. It's really nice. Looks like a center console or something. On to bag number 3. The center dash console is absolutely gorgeous. We have our mirrors. And these have a locating pin added to them. So we've got a little hole right there. It's just going to pop right in like that and glue into place. We have the Alpha Models wheel mounts. There's a little notch over here that is used to locate your brakes so that you get these into the right spots. The back side is angled. There's a wide end and a short end, so those get glued into place. There's a wide at the bottom and they're shorter at the top. There's the other set for the other wheels. We have what appear to be parking brakes, as well as our front and rears. And the detail in these, like, nobody casts resin like Alpha Models does. The detail on this is just fantastic. Our last bag of goodies. Well, our last bag of resin parts. We have a whole host of very tiny little pieces, one of which has come off already. That would be whatever this piece is. Clear parts are cast in clear resin. Those look really nice, but some of these look like they're going to be an absolute nightmare to fit, like these tiny little, I'm assuming these are side markers, but they're just tiny little dots. We have our tail lights. And we have our headlight lenses. Well, lens. Like I said in the intro, I have reached out to Alpha. I was missing one of these in my kit. They responded right away and had it sent out the next day. So it is on its way here. All right, next up we have our wheels and tires. These are beautifully cast tires. We have some Pilot Super Sports. The tread on these is really nice. There is no seam. You will need to do a little bit of cleanup on the back, but that's the back. The wheels themselves are pretty much the default Roma wheels. They too are really nice. Casting as always is very clean. Now you are staggered front to rear, so your fronts are going to be a little bit thinner. Side to side, they are the same size. All in all, these, like I said, the wheels on these are actually really nice, but I do have something else in mind. I have some Vossen HFC 1s. I found these on Colts 3D. I had to do a little bit of modifying. I scaled them on the X and Y to get them to fit the same diameter as the original. And then I had to modify them to stretch the file itself. I had to make the fronts a little thinner and the rears had to be a little longer, but that just matches them up. When you're modifying wheels, you don't want to just take them into your slicer and stretch them, because that will change the angle of all of this in here. What you want to do is take it into an actual modeling program, and you want to grab the back edge and either move it out or move it in. That way all of this stays in its original geometry. But we have gone in and we have also added in I thinned out their mount point and added in the little cylinder to match what's in here. So hopefully these fit and we can use these, because I really like the look of these Vossens. Because we did our modifications, these just pop straight in and they are a perfect fit. Alright, that is going to lead us to the flat stuff. We have our decals, which we have a whole load of carbon fiber. It's not nearly as much as was on the SP2 though. Some beautiful center caps, various hood ornaments. We have our shields. As you can see, Alpha's decals are a little bit thick. You will definitely want to use some solutions with them. I typically go for good old Microsol and Microset. Usually does the trick. We have various brake logos in different colors. You've got black with red, red with a little black stripe, and you've got the white with the red stripe. Looks like you get only one color of little prancing ponies to go on the headrests. Yeah, all in all, those look pretty dang good. We have the glass, which is just sheet acetate, which you're going to have to bend and glue into place. Now, luckily, it looks like they do give you plenty of room in here for your glue, and it is pre-painted, so hopefully this one won't be very bad. Some guys with the much more curved windows have a lot of issues with them trying to pop out. You get a nice photo etch nameplate, so you can put that on your case or stand or whatever you're choosing to do. Have our first sheet of photo etch. Really nice work on these brakes, even though they are going to get painted. Carbon ceramic. You got some floor plating in here. Looks really nice. Some really nice floor mats. Photo etch for your flappy paddles. And we have the windshield wipers. The dreaded windshield wipers. I've never really been great with photo etch windshield wipers. We're going to see how this goes. We have more photo etch. Looks like we get some surrounds for the exhaust, as well as some mesh. You have that grill. It looks like you get 2 copies of the grill and the mesh for the front. So you've got a little bit of mesh that's going to go right down in there. That all looks really, really nice. As well as another set of surrounds for the exhaust. We'll have to go look at the suggestions later and see where all this goes. Some of this may not even get called out in the suggestions, so we will go take a look at all of that. More photo etch. Alpha is very generous with the photo etch. You get tons of photo etch parts. Looks like a lot of seatbelt hardware, the rear Ferrari logo, mirrors, and all that good stuff. We've got some painted chrome metal transfers. Those look really, really nice. You've got your front hood ornament and your Scuderia shields that have a bit of texture to them. And finally, you get some straight chrome metal transfers. Alright guys, that is going to be a wrap for this video. Now, as I may or may not have mentioned, this was not a paid promotional video. Alpha did not send me this kit. I paid full price for it. If you are interested in this kit, head over to Alpha Models and go pick it up. They also still have some of the hardtops, so if you're interested in the original Roma, they still have some of those as well. I'm going to go ahead and get these parts into some nice warm soapy water, get them cleaned up, get all the mold release off of them, let them dry out, and then I can get started. I'm going to start pretty much with this body like I always do. So thanks for watching. I always appreciate you guys watching and supporting the channel. Your support means a lot to me, and I will catch you guys on the next one.